What is going on, guys? We have One Piece TCG Worlds coming up in just a couple of weeks. It's actually on March 2nd and March 3rd. And right after that, we have some discussion about some bans and or restrictions coming to the game. And I want to give you my takes on that and discuss that a little more. So first off, we have this article right here. I'll link it in the description. It's really nothing much, just talking about what they think are likely to be banned and restricted. Like, there's been some rumors going around, and there's been some speculation about Rebecca, Luchi, Moria being restricted or banned, and then we have Big Mom to be restricted, Moby Dick to be unbanned. Those are all the rumors right now. I'm going to go through those real quick and then get to my predictions. This is Moby Dick. This card's been banned for a while. This is the first card to be banned in Japan. Whitebeard, of course, had been running rampant in One Piece for a while, and this was a main culprit, and like the deck was still very strong. It still is strong, even without Moby Dick. So there have been talks about this card being unbanned because of the power level of the game just increasing with every single set that gets added. And now there's some more options for destroying stages, but in my opinion, I still don't want to see this card be unbanned. There's a lot of powerful Whitebeard cards being released in this set and EB01 and set 7. Like, yeah, this thing could get pretty scary, I think. So I'm totally okay with this not getting unbanned, but that is a rumor. There's a lot of people that think that Big Mom is going to be limited or restricted to probably 2 copies in a deck, and I just don't think that's going to happen personally. I think that obviously like back-to-back 10 drops are very strong, but that's the case with like any single 10 drop. Like if you do it with Doflamingo and green, like that's just as powerful. I don't know. I think this card does tilt the tides a bit too much, but I just can't see it being limited, and I think other decks really can totally compete with this. There's also some talk about Rob Luchi being restricted or banned, and I don't know. I don't see this one either, because now we have a new event coming out for Black. This is basically Luchi, except you don't even KO them. You put them at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know. I don't even think this needs to be restricted. I think that there's another culprit that needs to be restricted instead, and that is Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca is basically your activator. Usually activates Luchi, sets up a combo to pop 2 things pretty easily, and you get 2 bodies on the board, and one of them's a blocker. Yeah, I think this card is a bit too good, especially with Gecko Moria coming out that I'm going to talk about in a second here. But yeah, I think that Rebecca, I feel like the new card. All right, I'm just going to get into it now. So Gecko Moria, a lot of people are calling for this to get restricted or banned before it even came out yet. Obviously, there is an online simulator where you can play with these cards. We also have results from Japan, and we can see from the Japan results here that yeah, there's a couple decks that stand out more than others. I mean, they're in bold right here. Sakazuki 62 total decks on these winning these tournaments, and 63 for Gecko Moria leader winning these tournaments, and then the next best thing is 32, and then 24. Like, it's an overwhelming majority of these black decks taking it home. So I understand, and yes, we haven't gotten to play with it physically yet, but we have been able to play with it online, and the 8-drop does seem very, very strong for sure. But once again, all these boss monsters in the game are just getting to this power level, honestly. So I don't even think this card is so much of an issue. I could see it getting restricted a little bit. I could see it coming down to 2 or 3, but I can't see them just straight out banning this already. I would think that, yeah, I think that this card is very strong, but I think that one of the things that makes this card so strong is Rebecca. I feel like Rebecca makes it unfair. So I feel like I would like to see Rebecca be limited to 2. With the Sakazuki leader in the game, like, you can filter through your deck. You can go through and find these Rebeccas very easily. Even though you can't necessarily search it out, you will be able to just cycle through 2 Rebeccas, especially if you have 4 in your deck. So I think 2 makes it a lot more fair, and it's going to mean that Gecko combo goes off a little less. Still going to be a decent amount with some of the new cards that we have coming out, but yeah, I feel like this card makes Gecko Moria a problem. I also can't really see them banning a new card when it just comes out, especially an SR like Gecko. This is another card that I think is going to get restricted. I think that Amaro should come down to at least 2. You should only be able to put 2 in your deck, because with the new Yamato leader, this card gets even more crazy than it already is. And I think that this is a really strong card in the Katakuri deck as well. You don't really care about losing your life cards, because then once you get down to 1, then Amaru is active and you could get through whatever blockers you want. Like, it makes blockers pretty redundant, and you also just like go plus on power. And like, especially if you're playing Yamato, if you spend 2 Dawn on Amaru, you can use that 2 Dawn if your opponent's under 3 life. If they're 3 or less life, then you could put that 2 Dawn that you use with Yamato's effect under one of your characters. So you're actually paying 2 to rest something and gain 5,000 power. So I think it's a bit too strong. It also has that pretty lame trigger that can totally just swing the whole entire game and just save you from dying. So yeah, I mean, and we already have a lot of those in the game. A lot of those effects in yellow, especially, that will just delay the death there. So yeah, I would like to see Amaru come down to at least a 2 there. The last card that I would like to see restricted would be Beige. This card is just like inherently toxic. I mean, it's kind of got like the effect of Amaro, like the trigger effect, but yeah, it's all about the trigger. It's a 2k, and it's got a nutty trigger that is just like, it'll make you rage. I would not mind seeing it be limited. I don't think it necessarily has to be, but like, you can't search it at least. But yeah, it just feels so bad to lose into a last life Beige. Like, at least if it's in an Amaru, they have to ditch 2 cards to get the life. At least if it's a blocker, then you can maybe get through the blocker. There's times where you cannot set yourself up to get through this trigger, and it's just a feels bad kind of thing. So I would like to see this card get restricted to 2, or else, I mean, it's always going to be a staple in every single yellow deck, I think. But yeah, especially like NL, where they just like never die. So. And those are my takes on the bans and restrictions. I really think that the meta is in a decent place, or it should be in a decent place with 06 being released, especially if we do get those little limitations. I don't think they need to do anything that crazy. I mean, I kind of do want to see it like play out as well. But yeah, the power level of the game just keeps rising, and we just have to accept that these things, that like all these higher cost characters are going to be really strong, and that's the power level that they're setting it up to be. So hopefully we see a little bit of restrictions. I can't see anything too crazy. I think that people are maybe overreacting a bit too much about some of these cards here, especially the Big Mom. I don't know. I feel like it's just like a lot of the times where people want to ban or restrict cards, it's just because they just hate playing against it and it makes them feel bad. Let me know down below what you think about my restriction choices there. What you think overall, if you think I missed something. What do you think about the rumors that are going around? And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Peace.